Folks, we're back and we're talking about the importance of walk-off mats. But before we jump into today's episode, I want to thank you for stopping by, for listening, for taking the time. We are looking to grow the channel and looking to reach more cleaning professionals. So if you would be so kind, please like, subscribe, and share when you get the opportunity. Joel, I rarely think about walk-off mats until I see them laid wrong. And the only reason I know that they're laid wrong is because you've taught me.
Or that you trip over.
Well, there's that too.
Or you slip and fall on the floor because there aren't any.
Because there aren't any.
Yes, so the importance of walk-off mats. It is a critical piece to keeping a building clean. And there's been studies that have been done, and in textbooks through the ISSA, it costs anywhere from about $750 to over $1,200 to remove a pound of dirt from a building. When you want to cut the cost of your cleaning contract, you increase the number of walk-off mats you have, because 90% to 95% of all soil comes in off of people's feet from the outside, and it gets tracked into a building and walked through a building, and if you don't have the proper frequencies of cleaning in place, it keeps tracking throughout the building. But that is how you get 90 to 95% of the soil that is being removed comes through the front door or any other entrance into a facility.
So Joel, let me ask, what's the strategy on this? I've seen mats on the outside a door, on the inside of the doors. How far does the weather or the general conditions change how those things are laid out? We're in the Northeast. We're looking at snow this time of year. It's January, but there will be rain. There will be other things as spring rolls in. Some summers are wetter or drier than others. What's the plan around those?
That's an excellent observation. Most people wouldn't even have noticed most of what you talked about. So there is a whole strategy behind what, when, where, why, and how. In essence, there's three types of walk-off mats. So one is a heavy-duty scraper that you should walk on, and usually those should be placed outside the building. Mm-hmm. We live in the Northeast. Unfortunately, most of the buildings that are designed in the Northeast don't have an area that can be covered to put off the proper amount of walk-off mat, or that scraper type mat, to remove things in January when you're dealing with rock salt and ice melts and things like that, because it gets caught in your tread, to scrape that off the bottom of your boot or footwear. No. And sometimes they may have to put it on the inside or even in the vestibule area between the airlocks or whatever. But even then, you don't normally see a scraper mat anywhere. They usually have one of two kinds. Transition mats have qualities of both a cotton to absorb the moisture on a person's foot, as well as additional scrapers that are in it. There's less of them that are plastic, but will continue to clean the bottom of the shoe. And again, you should have 10 to 12 feet of that transition matting.
And then there
is the absorbent mats, which are all cotton to dry the foot. And again, it needs to be 10 to 15 feet to get that 8 to 10 steps to actually dry the foot.
Okay.
There's key features even with these mats themselves. Soil comes in and it gets caught in the mats. So you have to have a very aggressive vacuuming program to remove that stuff out of the mats. If you're having a service that comes in and replaces the mats, particularly in the Northeast, they have like their spring and summer matting schedule, which might be one pickup a week. And then depending on the fall, it might move to 2 to 3 times a week. It gets increased if it's a wetter fall.
Sure.
And then when you get into winter, it may again be like 3 to even as many as 5 times a week, or should be. Now, sometimes it gets serviced in-house and they have to be extracted. Because when you're talking about the true scraper mats, those need to be power wash clean because they're used to be held and hold everything. Those transition mats, because of the scraper properties, want to hold the soils a little bit. So it's a little bit more of aggressive try to clean those, to get those out. You don't want mats to creep along the floor either. So quality matters. If they're too thin and people walk on them, they start walking across the floor. Well, what then some people do is they'll put carpet tape underneath it and stick it to the floor. And then you have a bigger mess, which is another podcast down the road that we'll talk about. That's something that can happen if they creep and bunch up under a door and you have a fire. You may not be able to open the door. So this is all things you have to think about.
Actually, the question I was going to there, was a trip hazard.
And the trip hazard, because if they're too thin, we've all seen them where they curl up on the edges. and you should have a beveled edge so that it's easy to walk on and off of these mats. Even when they start wearing through, where you see the rubber backing, once you see that, you really should replace the mat because one, it's no longer effective for its use, but it also becomes a slip fall hazard. So there's a lot of things you have to consider with walk-off mats that you may not realize. And as a building service contractor, you want to make sure that you're being your customer's advocate and pointing out when these mats need to be replaced, even if it's through a laundry service. Those mats should be pulled out of service because who's going to be at fault for the slip fall?
Right. Your customer, the cleaning company owner, is expected to be their customer's advocate. And it's not the idea of, I'm trying to charge you less, we're trying to maintain your space better. And there are times that you're going to be upset that my Cruise vacuum cleaner didn't pick up all the rock salt. It can't. I mean, not realistically.
Correct. And then one of your earlier questions are like, what about different areas of the United States? Because that's where we are. That is a great question because I had a client that was in the Mojave Desert.
Are you serious?
Yes. So here we are. They're asking me to get less than a half inch of rain a year. So they don't need the absorbent mats.
Right.
They need scraper mats for the most part, with maybe a few transition mats in case they get that half inch of rain. So again, because we're trying to capture the sand and the grit and the things before it walks into the buildings. Yes, you change what your needs are based on where are you located, what are the weather conditions of your community. You know, just because I say these are the three because I'm in the Northeast doesn't mean that you need those three types of mats in the middle of a desert. So you have to be observant about what you need, and you may not need as many types of mats, which then requires that if you want to capture more, okay, I got 15 feet of mat, but I don't need these other mats. Well, maybe you add another 15 feet so that you've got now 30 feet that people are walking on to remove the stuff. Another key point. Mats need to be in where the traffic pattern is. You don't want it to look like aesthetics, so where it looks nice and neat and clean. And no, these are for protection. It's to reduce slip falls. If you have an area that people have to go to before they go up the elevators, the mat should lead to the area, not straight down the middle of a hallway to lead to the elevators if they're supposed to go to the concierge desk first. So it's all about the safety of the people that are entering the building and not the aesthetics of how it looks. That's for an architect to worry about or a designer, and I'm neither of those.
So what you're telling me is much like present company, this is for function, not beauty.
Well, you know, I am on the heavier side is the Northeast, and it is winter. So yes, the warmth.
I'm sharing the title. Joel, thank you. For our cleaning company owners who are listening in, contact Joel to get the advice on how to best approach your customers. This solidifies the fact that you are their advocate and you are their cleaning professional. Joel, thank you.
You're welcome.